I'm sorry, because this is going to be a long video, but I want to share some receipts so that people can see where and how I formed these opinions. Garnet Lewis, in addition to the fact that she is a PhD former teacher, most teachers would read an entire page of instructions before they would circulate something. In addition to the fact that she's a teacher and a PhD and should have the critical thinking skills to be able to absorb this information and know that if she circulates it, she signs it. And if the candidates didn't circulate it, then they shouldn't sign it. She should sign it. But at the time she was circulating petitions, she was under heavy, heavy fire from the locals. And the reason for that was, as mayor, she had unilaterally removed Rich Crawford from his position on the Planning Commission. You can't do that. There's a process that's very specifically defined in the charter for how to get someone off a committee, and it is not the mayor feels like they don't want them there anymore, so they get rid of them. A petition was actually circulated around town. Many of us signed it, saying we think that this was abusive of power. Garnet was abusing her power. She was doing things that she could not do. 3 former city mayors who are held in incredibly high regard in this community for their public service over decades caught on to the fact that this had been going on for multiple election cycles. They reached out to the Allegan County Clerk and a couple different other agencies, I think the Secretary of State, to find out, we think that there might have been election fraud. How do we proceed? They said, submit a report to the state police. The complaint was submitted to the state police, and then state police investigator showed up in SAUGATUCK and interviewed all of the candidates. Then that report was FOIA'd, and that's how I have it and know so much information about what happened here, because I have the candidate interviews describing what they did. Here is a petition. If you go see Jamie, the clerk at the city of SAUGATUCK, and you let her know you want to run for city council, she'll give you one of these. More likely than not, she'll tell you what the process is. But if she didn't tell you what the process was, she just gave you the form, there was no instruction whatsoever, how would you possibly find out how to do it? Oh, look, instructions on reverse side. Convenient. And if you actually take the time to read these instructions, what you learn is that first you fill out the candidate information here so that the people who are signing for that candidate know who they're supporting. Then you go get signatures. Once you are finished circulating the petition and you get all of the signatures you need, which, by the way, you only need about 20 signatures total to be on the ballot. Okay, then once you've circulated it, the circulator, the person who circulated it, who, if you read the back, you would know is supposed to keep this in their possession, and they are signing an attestation saying they have kept this in their possession, and they were the person who circulated it, and they did witness each signature, okay? Once you are ready to sign, you have to read this little bitty teeny tiny print here. But what is under it? Warning. All caps. That's kind of all caps and bold. And warning is pretty strong language. I feel like maybe I should read that, right? If I were circulating a petition, I probably would. Warning. A circulator knowingly making a false statement in the above certificate. A person not a circulator who signs as a circulator. Let's break that down a minute. Maybe that's confusing to some people. So if you sign this that you were the circulator and it is a lie, you didn't circulate it, it is a, read it with me now, misdemeanor. See it right there? It is a misdemeanor, okay? Little known, obscure election law. How could you have possibly known you can't do that? Elections are riddled with checks and balances. I am talking at every level. There are multiple checks and balances. This is the first step to checks and balances. As the circulator, you are responsible to ensure that those people that sign that petition are voters. And you are required to keep that petition in your site so that it cannot be in any way altered without you knowing. So when you sign that you didn't have it out of your control, and you sign that you were the one who personally witnessed each signature, you've committed a misdemeanor. Now, whether or not you get charged is another story. Like I said, Garnet Lewis has a lot of experience. And as you've seen, this is not little known and obscure. It's kind of beat you over the head with it. Like, you're going to be charged with a misdemeanor if you commit fraud here. What Garnet did, in addition to circulating those 3 sets of petitions for the 3 candidates she knew of, she also took petitions that had no candidate specified on them and got the signatures for them. Then she took those to Mark Miller, her next door neighbor and friend, who she talked into running just a couple days before the deadline. I think Mark Miller is actually probably the thing that offends me the most about the entire thing. And let's just put into context. Mark Miller is an emergency room doctor. He runs the department for a very large hospital. He's a busy guy. He is talked into running. This is according to the police report. He specifically asked her, is everything we're doing okay here? And as the mayor, with all of this experience, she reassured him, yes, this is the correct process and we're not doing anything wrong here. He had no idea he had done anything wrong. When he found out he had done something wrong, he immediately posted on social media that he was withdrawing his candidacy, and he suggested people vote for someone else. I thought it took incredible bravery to do that. So I reached out to him. I've never met Mark Miller, but I reached out to him. I said, hey, I'm the former city clerk, and I just wanted to tell you, I've seen Garnet's true colors for a lot of years, and I'm really sorry you got tangled up in this. But I want you to know it is clear to me, and it is clear to many people in this community, that you are a person of deep integrity. Your actions demonstrate that. As soon as you found out something was wrong, you immediately said, I didn't mean to do that. I'm just here trying to serve the public. He could have lost his medical license over this. You know who caused Mark Miller to believe he was doing nothing wrong? You know who threw Mark Miller under the bus and could have cost him his medical license? Garnet Lewis. That's some kind of friend, isn't it?
We got a complaint last week regarding some petitions for the city council candidates, and so I'm just going around talking to each of the 7 of you candidates to just talk about if you circulated your own petitions, and if not, who did.
Yeah.
So just double checking. You have 3, looks like.
3 pages. Yeah.
3 pages. Did you circulate all these petitions, or did somebody help you?
I mean, everybody helped me.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I had friends that had, kids in their household, so I would leave it with them.
Okay.
And they'd wait for their kids to get home, and then I'd come pick them up.
Okay.
And then I'd drop them off at a friend's house that lived in the condos. And they're like, my dad will be home soon. Get his signature.
Okay.
I think that's all normal.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. I don't know really what's normal. I've never ran for office.
Yeah.
So, but you coordinated all that then?
Yeah.
Did any of these where you gave a sheet to somebody else and they did that for you and they gave
I mean, like when I left it at people's houses, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And then I would pick them back up after, their husband would come home from work
Sure.
or,
Okay.
Yeah. Because it was just easier to do it that way.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah.
I guess, because let me see here. I'm not like a handwriting expert. But, so is this your writing here on number 2 and number 3?
Yeah.
Whose writing is this?
Maybe when I dropped it off first, it might not have had that information off the top.
Okay.
So I might have said, fill that part in while I was doing this one. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
So I've seen this writing on some other ones, and I believe it's Garnet Lewis's
Yeah, it might
writing.
have been because she was waiting for her dad to get home.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
For Marvin.
And then, so for the rest of these, did you coordinate all these, or did Garnet coordinate those for you?
No. I mean, it was different people. So these people are in her condo, so they were waiting for them to get home. But otherwise, this is another council person. This is people that live in the neighborhood behind me. These are in the same condo as these guys, so that's why they waited for them. But otherwise, that was it. Yeah.
Okay. So like you, after they signed it, you went and got it back from Garnet and then got these signatures?
She waited because she was waiting for these guys to get home too. So she got this one and those 2.
Okay. But then
just because they're in the same condo complex.
But in between there, you got those, or she got them for you?
Yeah, I got them.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just going around asking everybody the same set of questions because we're trying to figure out, because what the allegations, I guess, for lack of a better term, were that some people signed here as the circulator when in fact they didn't circulate their own petition.
Yeah.
And
yeah, there was a lot of just being passed off to a bunch of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I would drop it off, pick it up, drop it off to different people.
Sure.
You know, they'd grab their neighbors, you know, while they were there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me grab your info then.
Yeah.
And as far as the process for the city charter, I don't know, and that's not really my role. You know,
I wouldn't think so.
I've investigate crimes, and the reason, so the reason I'm even here is it's, in bold on the sheet, it's only the circulator can sign, and if you sign here, but you didn't circulate it, you're guilty of a misdemeanor. So,
so dropping them off and picking them up is not considered. Is that not circulating?
That to me sounds like circulating. I guess it's a definition problem that, again, legal minds would have to look into that. The one thing I would only ask is each signature. It says here that each signature on the petition was signed in his or her presence. So if you drop it off to Garnet and she gets her dad to sign it, and then you go pick it up, that wasn't really in your presence.
Yeah.
I don't know. Were these all kind of that same pattern where you would, hey, to a friend, here you go, and can you sign it, get it back?
Yeah, okay. Or I just stop by.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this your first
and some
time?
people stopped by my business, too.
Okay. And are you on council right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is this how you've done it in the past as well? Mm-hmm. Standard practice kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay. If somebody had gotten signatures for you, circulated a petition for you, which is totally legal, is it your perspective that that person should then have signed as the circulator?
Did it in that way, perhaps? Yeah. And then they would have to sign their name as the circulator.
Yeah.
As opposed to just like, I grabbed a couple here, grabbed a couple there, grabbed a couple here, grabbed a couple there.
So it's not your understanding. I just want to kind of get a read on, is it common practice for candidates to sign this no matter what, or only if they circulate it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean,
for you though, you just sign them because you
I
felt
signed
like
it
you
because
got the
I
signatures.
did it number of times.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Right. It was coming in and out of my possession.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I get that.
That's the way I looked at it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and I saw that forum at the League of Women Voters about, and this question was brought up.
Yeah.
About petitions, and at that point, were you aware like there was questions about some of the candidates' petitions, or
I didn't.
No? Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, do you have any questions for me?
I guess not. Yeah. No, but if somebody were to do a whole sheet like that themselves, then they would sign their name to it and say, I'm the one who did this on behalf of...
For this candidate. Right. Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Good luck in the election.
Hey, thank you.
We got a complaint filed with us last week about the upcoming election here in town. Okay. In regards to the petitions, nominating petitions, and whether or not they were filed correctly. And so I'm talking to each of the candidates just to verify, who did what. So it's kind of a procedural thing and making sure I've got everything. So did you? Let's see, 1, 2, 3 that have your name on them. Did you collect all your signatures?
Yes.
Okay. And I see that you signed as circulator for all of them.
I had to do this twice, by the way.
Oh, really?
They gave me the petition, and it was for something like a city ordinance or something first, so we had to go out and collect all our petitions twice. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Sorry about my dog.
The only reason I asked, I just want to make sure because we were told that some of the candidates had other people circulate their petitions for them.
Which is fine, right?
Which is fine.
Yeah.
But my understanding of the law is that then whoever did the circulating is supposed to sign as the circulator.
Oh, I got you.
And the allegations were that wasn't done. That,
I was at, the only thing I can think of that could have even possibly be like that is at a Rotary meeting. I'd be at a Rotary meeting and passing it around.
Yeah.
It's still me getting my signatures you know what I mean? So that's the only thing I can think of that could have even been.
So here's just, I'm no handwriting expert, but I've got some questions. So is this your writing?
That is my writing.
Is this your writing?
That is not my writing.
Okay. So whose writing is that?
I don't know. It could have been the one that I had up at the Rotary meeting, right? I might have handed it to somebody and they filled it out. I don't know. Because
I believe that's Garnet Lewis's writing.
Yeah, she would have been at Rotary.
Okay, all right.
Fair
so
enough,
maybe she just wrote that in for you? Because then I noticed, too, the address was written down wrong.
That would have been Garn then. Who did
Okay.
it. She's a Rotarian, too.
Okay.
So we would have been over at Rotary, and maybe she had one and I had one. But at the end, I collected them, and they're mine, and I had no problem signing it.
Okay, very good. That's really kind of what I was wondering. It looked like this one, too. She might have had, because she grabbed two of them the day that we found out that things had got backwards. Oh.
She's at City Hall. She goes, I'll grab a couple. I'm like, well, I'm going to grab a couple so I can, walk around the neighborhood or whatever. Know where Rotary we got signatures.
Okay, very good. Yep. And that sounds like completely, legitimate.
I'm sorry you got to be involved in this. It's ridiculous.
I'm kind of learning as I go. I've never dealt with this before. It sounds like, everybody I've talked to said the same thing. Like, man, sorry, you got to get involved. And really, it's my job to investigate things that are brought to my attention. So, okay, I will document. Maybe I asked you this, did you circulate petitions for anyone else?
I did not walk around and but I would tell people to sign, make sure you sign for my friend or whatever. I would tell people that, but I don't know that I circulated a petition for somebody else.
So you didn't.
If I did, I would have signed it. Yeah.
You know that's the rule?
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. Is that pretty well established rule?
I just write it down there just like you did. You know what I mean? So I don't know that. I think when you sign it, you sign as being the person who.
Yeah. Okay.
But I am trying to think now that you're saying that. Did I circulate one for? I would have had people that I know sign. But I wouldn't call that me circulating the petition.
Were they there too?
Probably, we were one day at Music in the Park, or again at Rotary. Honestly.
Yeah.
As far as I know, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I would have no problem signing it as someone who circulated it. Put it that way.
Yeah. Right. There's nothing to hide there.
No.
What's your middle name?
And like I said, I went through this process twice, so that's why I'm trying to really I had to go through all the signatures, and I had 40 the first time.
Oh.
I turned them in. She's like, "Oh my God, I gave you the wrong petition." I'm like, "I can't just." And she's like, "No, absolutely." And I'm like, "Okay," so I had to go around and do it again. So there was a lot of back and forth. I will say that, and that's why probably Darn had a couple that she had up there. But we're both Rotarians. We're both at the same meeting.
I gotcha. Okay. Yep. All right. Do you know of anything else going on that I should be looking into in this regard, or? Okay.
I mean, I think it's just people that are mad that anyone else is. I really don't know. I'm surprised that it's a big deal.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, honestly, at this point, it's going to be the voters, right? Nobody's going to get in. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah. I don't know either. Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hi.
Are you Todd?
Yes, Lewis.
Sorry, detective.
Yeah, no problem.
Garn.
Yeah,
Nice to meet you.
You go by Garn, you said?
Garn, yeah.
Okay. You can call me Todd.
All right.
I'm not a formal person here. Come on in, don't mind the mess here.
All right. I've been in here.
Yeah.
I dropped something off Gloria Beckman, a friend of ours. I think her nephew is.
Oh, yeah, Clark Beckman,
Yeah, I dropped off Gloria something for him. I was like, well, Gloria, I was just looking at the door.
Okay. Yeah, well, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm curious, and I think I got wind of all this. We were overseas traveling.
Yeah.
And darn, I'm like, why?
Yeah, well, so it sounds like I'm sure probably, I know SAUGATUCK's a small town, so probably where it's kind of traveling. But what happened was I got assigned to look into really what it amounts to is the nominating petitions for city council.
Yeah.
A complaint was made that maybe some of them were signed by the incorrect person as the circulator.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
and how long have you been in city politics?
Well, here 7 years, but I've been 2004.
Okay.
And I ran for state office in 2008.
Oh, did you?
Been collecting signatures for everybody and their brother since about 2004.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Literally everyone and their brother, and every ballot initiative
possible.
Yeah.
You're very involved. So
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I want to talk to you. I trust your expertise, and I'm trying to kind of learn some of these things.
Okay. All right.
How do you spell your first name? So what I've done, I've met with each of the 7 candidates, gone over their each petition with them, and tried to really just ask each of them, hey, did you circulate your own petitions?
Mm-hmm.
There's 23 petitions that were filed for the 7 candidates, and I think of those 23, 2 were signed by someone other than the candidate, and those were petitions for sign those as the circulator. And so my understanding, obviously, people can circulate petitions for other people. Mm-hmm. My understanding, reading this kind of sentence on the left, is that that's fine as long as the person who passes it around signs it. Mm-hmm. Is that your understanding too?
Yeah, a little bit. It's weird because people will help candidates.
Yeah.
Like I help candidates, like anybody has helped candidates, and I'll even expand it beyond candidates, just in general ballot initiatives.
Yeah.
Will help collect signatures, but sometimes don't even fill out the sheet themselves and hand it back over to the candidate to complete.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot.
Yeah.
That happens a lot, and it happened a lot during COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Because that just, it was just a matter of who was within your circle that you could get a couple signatures for. Yeah. So, and then, it's interesting because, depending upon the size of the race, really, our little town, you have to get, 20 signatures or something? 20 to 35 or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's really not, it doesn't take a whole lot of time. But sometimes you have, like within my group, my family, my friends who live there within the complex, I can usually get a candidate 5 to 6 signatures, and then I hand it back over to them.
Yeah. So is that kind of just standard practice? Like, again, not being involved at all. Is that just how things happen?
That is, especially in a small race like this. But I've done the same thing, and with any of the, like for governor, for attorney general, it's just what we've got. And if we don't complete the sheet, we turn it back over to be completed by another circulator.
Okay.
But that's the gist of it.
So then, because I talked to, like I said, to everybody, and I guess I'll just go through.
I can tell you who I collected signatures for.
Okay, who is that?
Scott Dean, Lauren Stanton, Helen Baldwin, and Mark Miller.
Okay.
Because we're in the complex there, I could get them any number of signatures. And then sometimes at the coffee shop, I would grab some signatures for them.
Okay.
Yeah, that's who I collected signatures for.
Okay. All right. So
and there was a mix-up on probably more information they need to know. There was a mix-up on Lauren and Helen's nominating petition forms. They were given the wrong form. Yeah. So then we had to circle back around.
Yeah, and I think, was it Helen maybe told me that about that, or Lauren, or both of them.
It caused them so much stress.
Yeah, and I think was it Helen that told me that at the Rotary meeting, she just, that's how she, quick got them all.
Yep, because she and I are in Rotary together.
Yeah, is Lauren in there too?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't collect for Gregory, I didn't collect for Jane, and I didn't collect for Catherine.
So, the reason I'm involved at all is because of this statement, that, this bold statement. You know what that says there? And the person, let's see, who signs the circular, or a person who signs a name other than his or her own as circular is guilty of a misdemeanor. So, I talked with the folks, and from what I can tell, if what they told me was honest, there's none of them really intended to defraud anybody.
No. It
kind of seemed like this is just how we get these signatures, and I know all these people, and we're, know.
So, detective, this is what was so sad about this.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Small town politics.
Okay.
And sometimes the underbelly of a wonderful little community exposes itself in times like these. This is what I hate about politics.
Yeah.
I hate this stuff.
Yeah.
Because normally, we're all friends.
Yeah.
Well, why are you getting yourself all worked up about who collected signatures for who? What difference does it make?
Yeah.
Just run your race.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Okay.
And but this happened too when I ran for Senate. And I had a friend of mine's like, Garnet, keep your eye on the prize. I'm like, I know, but they're saying this and that. It's like, all that's meant to distract.
Yeah.
And what's so sad about this is 2 new candidates, Mark Miller and Helen, have such a horrible taste in their mouth about this. They don't want anything to do with any of this.
Oh, really?
They're like, I'm never running for office again.
Yeah.
And this is why people do not run.
Yeah.
It just aggravates me.
Yeah.
So, sorry. It's just so disappointing. Anyway, but,
yeah. I hear what you're saying. It seems like, from my conversations with Scott and Lauren and Helen and Mark and the other candidates too, I think all of them obviously rogered up to provide service to the community.
Right.
And so I think, to varying degrees, I think that, like obviously Scott, I think, is on council, and Lauren, they're on council, and they both said, hey, this is just how we kind of do it. So for them, it was like, this is standard practice. Yeah. And I know Mark said, I got involved in the race 3 days before, and there's no way I could have gotten the signatures, and they helped me, and,
Right.
Right. I think let me find those.
Yeah, he's so worried about this.
Oh, is he?
Oh, yeah. I'm like, Mark, you're not going to lose your job.
Yeah.
He's convinced he's going to lose his job. Like, you're not going to lose your job.
So he had told me that these, hours before they were due, and that when he got them, he filled this out and then filled this out and then turned them in. Is that accurate to your recollection?
It could be. I thought he filled everything out up top. So that's just probably me, because I helped all the candidates and fill in, because this is my handwriting. Yeah, I noticed. Yeah, I'm not a handwriting expert, but I think. Yeah. I don't see Scott. But Lauren has. Yeah. A couple. So he may have very well, but.
So you thought maybe that he had already filled that out,
and
then you went gathered signatures. And
then, I thought so.
Okay.
Boy, and this is what? This is July? Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. But the people who, the ones that I help this is, usually when I walk around with a petition, usually, if I don't walk around with a petition, I get phone calls, Garnet, when you can come get signatures for whatever.
Yeah.
They just know.
Yeah.
So I'll show up and what are you collecting for now? Yeah. So, in any case, they would have known who it was being circulated for. So.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So, yeah.
So I guess why, for Mark's sake, why didn't you sign him as a circulator?
Well, I think there were some empty spots, and I wanted him to do some on his own, actually. So see, here's still some empty spots. Now here's some empty spots too. So.
So your thought
it wasn't
was
intentional.
I see. So your thought process was, hey, there's additional space, and the person who finishes the thing should be the one who signs it.
Generally, that's what we do. And we may be been out of time. Again, who else were we guys collecting for Helen and Scott and Lauren. So we're trying to get everybody's signatures.
Yeah. Okay.
So, okay. Maybe. And if there's any fault in this, then it's mine. That would be my fault. But I can't remember, tell you that, because there's just too many signatures going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you're busy. Where were you? Did you just get signatures at Rotary, or did you get them any other places?
No, I got them at the complex. So yeah, I'm one of the owners of Isabel's, and we were
It's
Isabel's Market Eatery. It's up
okay.
there. So that's our busy season, and we were losing employees. And Vicki and I were working pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
So let's see, in the complex, because it's easy, at Uncommon Grounds, at Rotary. Well, that might have been it. Borrowed Time, because a couple of folks are owners of Borrowed Time.
What about at Music in the Park?
No. I know Scott collected at Music in the Park.
Okay.
But I've never had time to go to Music in the Park.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't have time at Music in the Park.
All right. So these three for Mark Miller, did you circulate all three of those then?
I might have, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, here's my name. I did.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, because he decided a couple days before that he was going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And
here's
I'm trying to look at the dates, 7/25, 7/25. So all these are
that was the date that they were due, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then for Scott Dean, do you remember which ones you circulated for him?
Oh, well, definitely this one, because I signed it first.
Okay.
That might be it. That's it. But I didn't, some of these I don't, like this one I didn't get. Some of these, this is in the complex.
Okay.
This is in the complex. Okay.
He thought, and I think everybody's pretty upfront and honest with me, he thought you did number 1, and I think he thought you did the one I have labeled number 3.
Well, there's Bob from Rotary, Helen from Rotary. There's Jim. Yeah, probably this one. Yeah, I'd go by the names I know. Yeah, probably.
Okay.
God, I know all these folks. That's the problem.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we've been around forever. Yeah.
Okay.
So
this is 1, 2.
He had 5.
Oh,
so,
good for him.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. See, I didn't even know. Okay. Here, you want this back?
Yep. And if it's okay to just go through them. I'm just trying to figure out which ones we're looking at. So Lauren Stanton's next in my list. I got 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I could tell. So this is this one for sure. Because there's my name at the top, Pop's name, Vicky's name.
You know, and I noticed this just, these must have been, so this one's Helen's. I think the names are all kind of even in the same order and the same
almost.
date.
Yeah,
so was this, do you believe at Rotary maybe, 7/20? Look at when.
It might have been.
Or did you just have them together and hey, sign
had
this?
Had them together. Yeah, had them together in this case. This is Helen and Lauren, because this was the mix-up. We were going back around.
You were scrambling.
Yeah, you guys, we got, because I thought I already signed this one. You did. It was the wrong form.
Yeah, that was a Saturday. The 20th was a Saturday.
Was it? Okay.
I don't know if Rotary meetings on Saturday.
So some of these I don't recognize. So, okay. Yeah, but this one for sure.
Okay, so that's Lauren's. And then looks like this is her writing here, I think.
Yeah, that's my writing. There you go. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So this is my writing.
Helen, let's see, I think she had 3. So just the one for Lauren, then number 1 there.
Yep, just the one. And I started this one. Oh no, that's... This one's for sure me, because that's my handwriting.
Yeah, I think this is your handwriting too, I thought. And it kind of was interesting, maybe the wrong address was written down here and somebody had to cross them up. So I kind of wondered if 1 and 3 you had done too. Helen, when I talked to her, she said, well, she thought she circulated all her own at Rotary, like you were both there.
Yeah, this one, no. I may have helped her fill it out, but I didn't. This one I didn't. No.
Okay.
But this one I definitely did. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
All right.
But that's just generally what I do.
Yeah.
I help candidates.
You're helping. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me just ask you. Well, we got a couple more to go through.
Okay,
Did you do any for Greg Munson?
No, I did not.
Okay, and who's that? Catherine Simon?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
All right, so that's all the petitions.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like then 2 for Mr. Dean, 1 for
Mhm.
Miss Stanton, 1 for Miss Baldwin, and all 3 for Mr. Miller.
Mm-hmm. Probably.
So I because my job is to investigate crimes, and it says this is a misdemeanor to sign this as circulator when you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I have to talk to the prosecutor about this and explain what I've found.
Okay.
I don't know if there's a crime for, it's not specifically stated on the sheet, if it's also a crime to circulate it and then not sign it, you know? So I just don't know.
Right.
Let me just ask you this. Did you intend to do anything wrong?
Oh, no. That's what's so horrible about all this.
Did anybody involved with this intend to do anything wrong?
No.
Okay.
No. It's just friends helping friends. That's what's so bad about all this.
Yeah.
Can I ask who filed the complaint? Am I allowed to know?
I can't really say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I
It's
can't
not
really
one
say.
of the candidates, though, is it?
I can't really say this time. Yeah.
That's too bad.
I understand, that mistakes can be made, and, my plan is from here to speak with the prosecutor, and then hopefully I know the election's a week from today. And I know you were out of town, and then, so we had some trouble meeting up. You were kind of the last person I think everybody's been really upfront with me, so I don't expect to have to do any other interviews unless the prosecutor tells me that she wants me to talk to people on the list. I've talked to the candidates, I've talked to you. I think that's probably enough where I understand what happened here. Has there been talk around town about this? Like, what's the buzz? What's the fallout so far, if any?
I haven't heard anything, and quite honestly, this is so. The candidates that I know, and I've told them, it's like, you guys, don't be posting anything on Facebook. Don't be, because this is exactly what it's intended to do. It's intended to cause buzz and give wind to something that really shouldn't have any wind.
Yeah.
So I haven't heard a thing. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
It's really just very.
Yeah. So, just so you know, and you can relay this to whoever you need to relay it to, I've been in contact with the city clerk and the county clerk because it involves an election.
Sure.
That is not at all my role.
Yeah.
I am gathering the facts related to these petitions as it relates to the potential of a misdemeanor. Yeah. That's my focus. Now, I understand, though, that there's this parallel issue of the election that really is impacted by what I'm doing. So, or potentially. And I don't know the impacts of that. So, what I'm just saying to you is that what I'll be talking with the prosecutor about is that these petitions, from what it appears, have the wrong signature on them.
But this is what I want you to hear from me. That's my fault then. That's on me.
Yeah.
And these candidates should know.
Yeah.
I'll do whatever I have to do. But if there's going to be anybody, it's going to be me.
Okay.
It's not going to be them. That would be absolutely egregious.
Okay. So
absolutely egregious.
Help me understand so I can correctly relay that. So, on you because
I should have signed the bottom of it. I shouldn't have turned back over a signature sheet to them, even if it was incomplete. I should have signed it, and I should have told them to get a new sheet. And you know what? I should know that. I should absolutely know that. But they should. Oh, I will.
Okay.
That they are not all here.
So you don't feel like any of them were culpable or had any kind of...
No. Absolutely not.
And did you have any reason to hide the fact that it was you circulating them?
No.
Because people are going to ask. That's why I want to make sure I document this so that... Because you know how this is going to go. People are going to FOIA this report, So I want to make sure that it's clear in this conversation I appreciate you taking ownership over it. That to me shows leadership. You know, that's really impressive.
So the timing of this, right? So now I'm just going to think out loud. I'm not going to tell you how to do your job. This goes back to when Hillary Clinton was running for office, and what's his name, Comey, dropped that damn report. It's like the timing of everything. So it's filed and it's done before next week's election. And whoever's behind this will raise. See, Garnet was da-da-da. It's so much small town politics you don't even know. I'm the mayor, and there's a small group that's been just. It's just ridiculous politics. It's ridiculous politics. And I won't even begin. There's been stuff before this has happened.
Really?
Oh.
Like what? Do you think it impacts this?
I think it has everything to do with it. I'll tell you exactly.
Yeah, please.
So, that's probably more information than you'll need.
No, I want to know.
I'm the owner of Isabel's Market and Eatery. Everybody knows this. So there's four of us women who own it. Known as the Lesbian Mafia. There's one strike against me. Oh yeah. So we, at the middle of September, announced that we were going to close our doors to take a break and regroup. And we were scheduled to close Sunday, the 25th of September. The 24th of September, and I might have still a picture of it, a flyer shows up in Des Moines against at Lake Vista. We can still call it Des Moines.
That's the grocery store?
It's the grocery store.
Okay, yeah.
A flyer posted on there without any disclaimer or anything. And I can go get it. It's probably still on the phone. Basically, don't vote for Garnes 4. Don't support the slate. Vote independent. Vote for these 3. And then it's, Garnes, you should quit. Garnes, you should, it's just. So that was the first. Then the next day, up shows these banners and lawn signs. And they're basically, I'm not even a candidate. I'm not even running this time around. And you might, if you drive around, you'll see a couple of them. The mayor's trying to stack her council. And again, no disclaimer on the lawn sign.
Disclaimer of?
You're supposed to have who's paid for by.
Oh.
And what was the last one? There was another one. I can't remember. But it was like 1, 2, 3, and all of it.
And that's you.
And what I tried to tell, Mark and Cindy and Helen, or Lauren and Helen Scott, this is not about you guys. This is about me being the mayor and all kinds of stuff. And it's just petty. So then this was like the next thing. Yeah. Because I told them, I said, what else is coming? It's been really quiet. It was quiet for about a week. The city started enforcing the lawn sign ordinances, and lawn signs came down. There was a brouhaha about that. They started going after the manager and the clerk, who was just trying to do her job. Yeah. And then about the time I disappeared to Europe, all of a sudden this came up. So it's just one in a series of things. Gary Medler, who lives over on the other side of the river, for whatever reason, I don't know what's up his rear end. I have no idea. I don't know. So honestly, this is all about me. And it's not about them. They want me to quit. They want me to quit as mayor.
Really? Has that been expressed to you, or is you just...
Oh, yeah. They've been after me for a while.
Why is that, you think?
Well, let's see. A strong, independent female who owns her own business and has managed to, not intentionally, but over the course of the last 2.5 years, flip that council to a council that's younger, more representative, a little more open-minded. So it's just...
I see.
It's just ridiculous. And I know Janetsky and I have talked about some things that happened in the last election, and I didn't do anything about it. There were all kinds of... It was, and he and I sat down and had coffee about it. He goes, Garnet, you need to report to the Secretary of State. And I ultimately, I just cannot do that. But that's the kind of person I am. I'm sitting here today saying I should have done something about it, but I won't. I just won't do it.
You're above the...
Yeah. But I will take ownership for this.
So let me ask this. That reminded me, I think I wanted to ask. Somebody told me, I think it was Scott, maybe Lauren too, that this is just how it's normally done.
This is normally how it's done.
There's that... So, like, the last election, is that your stance as well? Like, this
Absolutely.
is standard practice?
Absolutely. When she was on council, I was brand new. She ran around the day the signatures were due and collected them for who owns one of the inns downtown.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, I don't want to say it's typical, but it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Primarily because at the last minute, once you finally convince someone to jump in.
So by the letter of the law, what should happen is, okay, you don't need to have a complete petition, right, to file it?
No, you
don't need 12 signatures.
No, you do not.
So what really is supposed to happen is, okay, you gathered 6, you sign here, and there's 30 petitions instead of 23, right? That's
right, exactly.
But that's the letter of the law. But the practice, that's common practice for what you've done since, 2004 is, we don't really waste our time doing that. I gather some, give it back, and it's the candidate that signs it. Yeah. That's what I'm picking up.
Generally. Especially in a little race like this.
Okay.
And on the big races, the candidate will never sign them because they're not collecting signatures. Whitmer doesn't collect signatures. Nestle, they don't collect signatures. They have staff that do it. Yeah. Or volunteers.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, all right. When I ran for Senate, if I had a petition sheet, I would sign it. But because I was collecting the signatures. Mm-hmm. But I had volunteers helping too.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah.
All right. Well.
So the timing of this, if you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
They will raise holy hell before next Tuesday.
Yeah.
They will raise holy hell.
My next call is going to be to the prosecutor's office and request a meeting and see if we can gather and go over what I've been told and hopefully have an answer from the prosecutor's office quickly. Okay. And I have apologized to many of the candidates, maybe all of them, about the fact that I'm involved. I understand that complicates things, and I've tried to. For me, it's not personal or anything; it's factual, and I understand though for all of you, it's very personal. You've given up of your time for basically what's a volunteer position, and for some of these candidates, I understand Mr. Miller's concerns. I know what he does, and we talked about that. And
that's why if there is a decision to give someone a misdemeanor, I will take it. Mm-hmm. I'm not working. It won't affect my career. Yeah. It won't affect me, and it'll be over my dead body that they get me to resign as mayor because of this. Mm-hmm. Seriously. Okay. Seriously. It's ridiculous. I know I shouldn't laugh, but it's just like, really? Yeah. We have people getting killed in schools. It's like, really? Well,
that's, I see and understand your perspective on it. And for me, I investigate those type of cases, and so but what I understand also is that for whoever filed this complaint, this is important to them, and so I treat every complaint the same and do my best to gather the facts as they are, and go from there.
So if it is who I think it is who did this. So,
do you have questions at all for me right now? You've got my cell phone, obviously. You can always reach out, but
I really, honestly, I want you to make it clear to the prosecutor if there's anyone who's taken the fall for this. It's me. Okay. Honest to God. Okay. It would be the wrong thing to charge any of these candidates, any of them, at all. I'll even take the fall for anybody else. There's nobody ever intended to defraud anybody or mislead anybody.
Yeah.
No. Okay. But if if something needs to be done to set an example, I'm more than happy to own that.
Okay. Just, you know, and I'll definitely pass that along. Sometimes, some crimes are specific intent crimes and some aren't. They happened as they happened, and, you know, there's a statement here, so I can't, you know, the prosecutors doesn't always get to just say, hey, this is, you know, they have to go based on the facts and the elements of a crime and things like that. But I'll certainly pass that along. And just so I can pass it along correctly, too, the reason you're saying that is that because you feel responsible for these people, or do you feel responsible because you misled people?
Oh, I didn't mislead anybody.
Okay.
Everybody who signed the petition that I circulated knew exactly. They're real people, and they knew exactly who they were signing for.
Okay.
So
you're not doing it because you misled anybody.
No.
You just don't think that anybody of the candidates has any culpability here. So
none of them, not any of them have any culpability.
Okay.
This is just the way we've kind of done it.
I got it. Okay. And again, I just need to make sure, so I'm passing this along correctly.
No. You could talk to every person on there, and they'd be like, "Yep, I signed that. Yep."
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. No.
Right.
Because again, like I told you, I mean, it's kind of a known thing around town. What are you collecting for now, Garnet? I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
What are you collecting for now?
You're obviously an advocate for, you know, the community, and, you know, you...
Statewide stuff.
Good.
Yeah, it's just generally what I do.
Yeah. Any other questions at all, or things you want me to know before we leave? And again, you can always call me after.
No, I think you know everything you need
all
to
right.
know. I mean, I'm happy to sit down in front of the prosecutor, too, if you need me to.
Okay.
I mean, honest. I'll be firm on that one. That none of these cases, not even the ones I didn't collect, not one of them should be. No, that would be silly.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Okay, let's talk about Rose Ford.
Yeah. That was funny when you texted that. Yeah, she's...
Yeah, I figured I think everybody who's come through that school.
Yeah, she was the best. You know, and I know she's still there, but...
yeah, she's in the drop. So
yeah, she's got to be close.
I think a year.
Yeah.
Because they're looking for a house over here.
Oh, yeah? You know what? I think I knew that. I had run into her when I was still on the road. I forget how. I think we just crossed paths, and just a few years back. And she had told me that she was thinking about retiring over this way.
Yeah, the whole group that went to school together, you know, from Mount Pleasant area.
Okay.
There's a whole crew over here.
Good.
Yeah, we've all moved over.
She was the best. I've probably told her, but, you know, maybe she's told you, but in that recruit school, it's stressful and your time's limited. And she always would, you know, they want you when you're up on the range to be... There's certain times they want you stressed to test that, but they want you to relax because you got a gun in your hand, and you know could be dangerous if you're stressed out and not in the moment. So she would always, you know, find a way to bring everybody, you know, kind of just into the moment and hey, relax and let's have some. I forget what I think she called it trigger therapy.
Oh,
you know, so like, hey, this is your time. Like you're not getting yelled at. They didn't ever yell up there. So yeah. I remember that term, trigger therapy, she would call it. Just kind of time to relax and just focus. And
yeah, she's a good egg. When my nephews were up, one's now in Special Forces Army.
Yep.
They were up, I was running for that Senate race, and they were up helping with the campaign. And she invited them down. Oh my God, you'd have thought they died and gone to heaven. They had a blast.
On the range, they're cool.
Yes,
that's
they
cool.
were just in heaven. And the one who got married this weekend is like, hey, Garnet, I'll never forget that. That was so wonderful.
Oh, cool.
So,
okay.
They just really love. We call her by her middle name, Maria. You know, but
I
always call her Trooper Ford.
Yeah.
So, good.
Cool. Thanks for telling me about that.
Oh,
yeah. Cool connection.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's really, in the end, it's kind of a small world. So.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry about all this.
That's okay. We're out here to school. We're supposed to do this.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And I'll hopefully have a decision for it pretty quick.
Oh, yeah. I'm fine. I'm fine.
current SAUGATUCK City Council member is charged with violating Michigan election law. Garnet Lewis was formally charged this week in Allegan County Court with failing to report a violation on a nominating initiative petition, which is a misdemeanor. The date of the incident is listed as July 26th of last year. A warrant was issued for Lewis on March 3rd. She turned herself in March 11th and bonded out. She pleaded not guilty to the charges this week. Lewis is expected back in court later this month.
I've worked for the state police.
Oh, hey, Doug, how are you?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
Kind of a weird thing for me showing up here. Hey, we got a complaint about the petitions for city council, nominating petitions.
Okay.
So I'm going around talking to all the candidates.
Okay.
Do you mind if I talk to you for a few minutes?
Coming out of the cold?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Okay. Thanks for meeting with me.
No, that's right.
If I could spread the petitions out over the table here. So, the nature of the complaint is this. So, I got the petitions here, and I'm going around talking to all the candidates.
Sure.
I just came from Mr. Dean's house.
All right.
Yeah. Is this your first time going through a
oh,
election?
goodness, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a physician. I am not a politician at all. So,
Okay.
So I know it's not an excuse for not doing things right, but...
Do you have any inclination that you did things wrong, or?
No, I didn't. Well, no, not from what I was told, but I have heard that there's all kinds of worries about how petition signatures were done and that. We had a forum last week. The League of Women Voters had that, and a question came up about that. So I knew that it was there was a concern and an issue for people. So, but I don't, as far as election law and all that kind of thing, I didn't. I was told this is the way to. You're right. I was told this is okay. This is what we're doing, and I was okay with it. So,
who kind of taught you how to do the process? Who's been guiding you through it?
Mostly the current existing city council.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay.
So
I kind of assumed. I get it.
What was going on?
Yeah.
So, but anyway.
So
what can I do for you?
So these are your 3 petitions. Copies of them here.
Yep.
I've got them number 1, 2, and 3. So did you? I did watch that League of Women Voters.
Okay. Yep.
And so I think I remember your answer from that. But did you go around and get any of these signatures?
I did not.
Okay. You got into the race. I remember you said like 3 days before.
Right.
So when were these due?
Well, let's see, what date did I put on here?
25th. These were signed.
Okay. I turned them in 2 hours before they were due.
Okay.
Is there like a date of?
I can.
I can look it up. Yeah. It's whatever the Michigan law is as far as having petitions in for the race, and that's part of why all this. Because, like I say, literally, it was a Monday. It's a Monday, August something. I don't remember exactly what the date was, but that was the day. And it was that late Thursday or Friday that I decided to go ahead and run. Okay. And then they helped with the petition signatures and all that because I was not available to do anything prior to that Monday. Okay. So and there and that's where my knowledge ends. If there was something inappropriate or illegal or whatever with that. I'm going to be guilty of that because I have no idea what it was supposed to. What it was supposed
You're
to be.
trying to volunteer do some civil service. What's your middle? By the way.
Oh yeah, thanks.
It's amazing.
Thanks. I just moved here about 5 years ago.
Oh great. So all right. So do you know who did circulate these for you then?
I believe Garnet Lewis and. Scott Dean. Okay. I believe. Holly Leo might have also. I mean, you know all these people, I assume?
I just met with Scott. That's the first person I've talked to.
Okay.
I see. So I see his signature on this one that I have labeled number 1. Did he do that one too? to your recollection?
I don't know who did which ones.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I was handed a pack of the 3 of them, put my information and stuff across the top, signed it, and, literally 2 hours after they handed them to me, I had them over at the city hall.
Okay.
So I don't know which ones were done by who.
Okay. So when you were handed these, this is your writing at the top?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you wrote that in, but
Yep.
and the signatures were on there.
The signatures were already on there.
And Garnet and Scott had kind of done that for you.
Yep.
And then
Garnet was the one that physically, she's saying now, she was the one that physically handed me the pages.
Okay. And then you filled in the top
Yep.
and then signed the bottom.
Yep.
Okay. Did you read any of this stuff?
Nope.
The fine print?
Nope.
Okay. Have you read it now that we've been standing here?
No.
Okay. Go ahead and read it.
All right. Okay. See, I was told, and I thought I'd read somewhere else that it did not, people can get signatures for somebody. And apparently that, to your knowledge, is that not true?
I believe that is true. What I believe then, that person that goes and gets signatures is called a circulator.
Okay.
Then they are the person that's supposed to sign it. That's my understanding.
Okay.
That's my understanding of it, and I'm trying to learn. I'm learning just like you.
Okay.
It seems.
Well, I was not present for any of these signatures.
Okay. Yeah.
Other than the one that I did. I don't know. Does the next paragraph have anything to do with it?
No, it's out of state.
Okay.
Then the thing in bold is kind of why I'm actually involved.
Okay.
As state police here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did not read it.
Yeah. I'm not surprised to hear you say that because obviously in that open forum, you said the same thing.
Yeah.
And, I apologize that I'm even here.
No.
You signed the line to want to serve your community.
You got nothing to apologize about.
Yeah, you're trying to serve your community.
So what do I do at this point to make it right?
Well, my job here, I'm going to go talk to each candidate to figure out if everybody did this.
To my knowledge, it was only me, but I don't. You'll find out.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
So that probably doesn't even help. But anyway.
Yeah. So what I'm picking up on though, Mark, is this: you had no. And I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but you had no intent here to defraud the system.
No, but I clearly didn't read the.
You didn't read the paperwork.
The not quite so fine print.
So what made you decide 3 days before to get kind of involved in the election? What prompted you?
I had. It's something that my wife and I had talked about for a while, just getting more involved in the community. And the council, over the summer, decided to reinstate the Parks and Rec Committee. And I thought, that's a decent way to at least start getting involved. So I went to City Hall, I don't know when, sometime before all this, to apply or to interview for that committee. And Garnet Lewis and Scott Dean said, we have a better idea for you.
Okay.
We'd like you to do this.
Yeah.
And it honestly took me a couple of weeks to decide.
Good.
I talked to a lot of people. I wasn't, I wanted to know the time commitment. I still work full time.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it right.
Yeah.
Do I have time to do everything that's blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So all that. So it was a long decision process over a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
And so when I finally said, yes, I'll do it, I ended up with however many, 2-3 days before the deadline.
Okay. So. Yeah. Very good. Well, from here, what happens, is there's kind of two sides to this. The reason I'm involved as a detective with the state police is we investigate crimes. I don't investigate elections per se.
Okay.
The only reason I'm involved is because this form says it's a misdemeanor to sign this thing, and I'm trying to figure out if if it did happen, why it happened, and so forth, and then I submit my report to the prosecutor's office.
Okay.
And they'll take a look at it and decide what the most appropriate action is to take. And so, like I said, I've talked to you and Scott now. I'll talk to the other 5, I believe it is, candidates. Probably the mayor at some point, since it sounds like she...
Yeah, she's out of town right now. But
is she?
Yeah,
Okay.
she'll be back the 24th, whatever that is. Monday,
Okay.
I think.
24th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's out of the country, actually.
Okay.
So
she's indisposed.
Yeah.
Well, I'll definitely want to chat with her and just talk about that. I'm not trying to make this into something it's not. It's signature on a piece of paper, and but it's in bold right there. Of, only if you're the circulator sign it. And it sounds like you're under time constraints, 2 hours before the deadline.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Not really an excuse, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things. So, I've got my card here.
Okay.
I'm guessing after I leave, you might have questions or think about something, or.
I'm sure I will.
So
I don't even know what to. I don't even know where to go from here, other than just let you finish doing your thing.
That's not really all you can do. The one thing I would say is, when I got referred this complaint, I did some searching online, and that might be something you want to do too, with what that means for these petitions in particular, these pieces of paper, these signatures, beyond the in bold stuff here, whether or not these are now ineligible to be considered.
Sure.
And I'm not the one that will decide that. I believe that would be probably the city clerk's office or city manager or county clerk. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Based on some stuff I saw, I think it probably means that whatever pages were improperly signed would be ineligible to be considered.
Yep.
So, but that's again outside of my role.
Would you mind if can I get my phone and take a copy of that?
Yeah.
Make sure that is that
sure.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah.
That's your phone sitting there on the table, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Mine is just like. Gather, my world does not revolve around being on city council.
Yeah.
But it does kind of revolve around doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I just want to picture that paragraph. Or paragraphs.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I bet you're probably upset. Especially when it's kind of like, hey, here, sign here and here, and you're good to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So would you say, it was Garnet Lewis was the one that kind of gave you the forms and really, would you say she was sort of the one that orchestrated this for you then? Yeah? Yeah? Okay. Yeah. And...
And I don't want to get anybody into trouble, or anything. I just kind of trusted her. She's
done it.
When the mayor says, you can imagine.
Yeah,
so,
the mayor says, hey...
Is this okay to do? Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So.
Was there any... did you have to ask that question? Is this okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. What made you wonder?
I don't know. I think I just questioned it, because I think I knew that in order to get on the ballot, you had to have signatures.
Yeah.
And I questioned, I think I found out sometime during those couple of days or maybe the day that I said that I'd sign on or whatever, and I don't have signatures yet. Do I have enough time to run around?
Yeah.
And that's when I told, we'll take care of that.
Yeah.
And then I think I questioned, is that,
sure.
Again, just kind of being naive to the whole system. Is that okay and whatever. Well, and I might have even questioned signing. I don't really remember.
Yeah.
But I questioned, is it okay to do it this way?
Yeah. Well, I would tell you, I think as far as I've learned, it is okay as long as that person who circulated it
didn't sign it. Yeah.
And so it's also just curious to me. So these all showed up to you blank at the top with the signatures on too.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Right. And you're not sure.
That might be a thing too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll let you figure that out. But.
Yeah. What makes you think that?
So what were people signing?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and that I didn't put. This I knew I questioned. You're sure this is okay? Yeah, it's okay, fine. But I didn't read that. The top part that didn't even cross my mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
I don't know. The short answer is I just don't know. I'm learning as I go here on this one.
Me too.
But all right. Well, you've got my card here. Again, sorry to drop in on you on a Monday.
No, it's all right.
And we're just looking into figure out and make sure, as you, I'm sure, feel the same. Elections are important, and the way that.
Let me give you my. You happen to catch me. I'm very rarely home. I work in Kalamazoo.
Oh, really?
Do you have I work at Borges Hospital in Kalamazoo.
So I got your phone number here.
Okay.
What do you do at Borges?
I'm the medical director of the ER there.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a challenging time right now in healthcare.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
So, I just happened to be, I worked shifts in the ER Saturday and Sunday, and so I just took today off just to do some admin work at home. So, so I'm usually kind of hard to get a hold of, but you can always call me. So if you need me to, if you need to meet up or you need to ask a question or anything, just let me know. Or I guess if there's any information that you're allowed or able to, because now I'm going to be wondering, now what? So whatever you're able to
my
give me,
cell
let me know.
phone's on there. If you haven't heard from me and you're wondering, shoot me a text.
Okay.
My goal is to, I'm trying to get as many done here early in the week as possible. And obviously, Mayor Lewis is out of country. But, my goal is to talk to each of the candidates and figure out how many of the candidates have the same thing. And so what has to happen then is I send my report to the prosecutor. My clerk at the county prosecutor's office. And she'll review my report and what everybody said, and I'll fully document. Yes, you totally upfront about it. I signed it. You said it in open form. You're not trying to hide anything. Seems in your case kind of a case of misunderstanding of the rules. So she'll, I'm sure, take that into account when she makes her decision on what to do. So.
Because I want to know, once all that's done, what do I do? I mean, do I need to withdraw from the race? Do I need to, whatever it,
would say, I would say.
Any of that, the sooner the better, I would assume.
Well, I can tell you this. So that will be outside of my role.
Sure.
What I would suggest you can do before any of that happens is you can call the city clerk's office and say, hey, the state police just came here. And I just went and talked to her to clarify, to make sure I was correct about the circulator thing, and she confirmed. So you could say, they were just here. I misunderstood the rules. I signed those, but I did not gather those signatures, so that she can determine what happens with those petitions. So you can do that on your own.
Is it Jane you talked to?
Yeah. That's separate from my role in this. So.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think she knows those laws pretty well, I'm sure.
She probably does.
Know what to do.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
Thanks.
Nice
Sorry for spending your time on this.
Yeah, sorry to meet you in the circumstances here.
No worries. Thanks,
All right. Thanks, sir.
Yep.
So by the letter of the law, what should happen is, you don't need to have a complete petition, right, to file it?
No,
you don't need 12 signatures.
No, you do not.
So what really is supposed to happen is, you gathered 6, you sign here, and there's 30 petitions instead of 23, right? That's
right, exactly.
But that's the letter of the law. But the practice, that's common practice for what you've done since 2004 is. Yeah, we don't really waste our time doing that. I gather some, give it back, and it's the candidate that signs it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm picking up.
Generally, especially in a little race like this.
Okay.
In the big races, the candidate will never sign them because they're not collecting signatures. Whitmer doesn't collect signatures. Nestle, they don't collect signatures. They have staff that do it.
Yeah.
Or volunteers.
Yeah. Okay.
But
all right.
When I ran for Senate, if I had a petition sheet, I would sign it, but because I was collecting the signatures.